All right, it's time for that moment when. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 review retrospective. Wow. Yep, messed up the intro, messed up a bit of the UI. UI. Holy. Uh, I didn't take the screenshot properly. So look, there's the three little dots. I've done it a couple times. Who cares? So this is a mixtape from last year that I forgot about, and I wanted to discuss. This is one where this kind of led into a lot of my music video style stuff later, where I was just testing out some animation effects and things in my softwares and wanted to kind of make some, like, every song has some amount of visual kind of things and elements, right? I do want to say, first and foremost, wow, look at the difference in view counts, but there is a reason why. Um, I made this mixtape and then said I wanted to release a few of the tracks as singles, and I did. Those being the most popular from when it was just in the playlist. So, yeah. Um, but either way, so yes, I've heard the three being Flashback, Creative Differences, and Lightboard the most. However, gonna be honest, those are the three better songs, and it's not close. Let's get into it. So, Flashback is our intro track. This track has a lot of charm for an intro. I think that, like, it does have some good energy. I particularly really like the beat and the drums just in general between how it's mixed and everything. But it is a bit of a, like, kind of in the way that Roach goes all over the place. This also does, and it's not a goofball track intentionally, so it doesn't sound like it. So it is a little silly given how hyperactive it is out of the gate. It's a bit jarring, I think, is really what it is. And it's not inherently in a good way, but I don't think it's bad, and it's definitely has some fun moments instrumentally, but it's not the best production, for sure. Face Down has some disgusting mixing, a really annoying bad melody, some just really weird effects. This song is downright bad, and it's not the only one in here that I would call downright bad, but it's definitely, and I actually don't even think it's the worst track here, but it's pretty bad. It sounds really annoying. The instrumentation doesn't work with each other like that. One, like, I think it's like a dubstep synth or pad or whatever, it sounds awful with everything else, and then it kind of just becomes beta bad, like acid tripping Hazardous Wasteland of Wall Breathers. I do think, like, it kind of does come together to some extent. It's not like horrendous. It's just like I feel like everything with the production here is really bad. So I don't like it. Creative Differences is a mixed bag. Um I do think that it I think that this, because this is a song with a sample in it, right? Or one or two. And the beat sample does make it sound really good, but also a lot of the synth is me, so it's kind of in the same way as like Reality in a Box. However, in comparison to that, I think that had better execution. This with the drum, like the overlapping drum stuff, I think is a little worse than that song, but it's hard to tell. That this has a very nice flow, and it feels like it's attempting to intentionally derail it versus Reality in a Box is very cohesive, and I think this is a lot less cohesive, with its kind of twist into the, like, really fast drums in the background, right? But like it doesn't feel like it aligns very well, but it's not bad by any means, and it's still quite enjoyable. A bit of a head bopper. Lightboard is complicated. So this is a song that I initially had as my favorite on this mixtape, and I think I still do feel that way, but there are some weird issues with this song. I have found that in listening to it either with different headphones or different speakers or whatever, and this has happened with old music of mine as well, it sounds different. Like the mixing and like the difference between the notes is a little harder to notice. With my current headphones, it sounds great. I've heard it in modes where it just like it's harder to distinguish the actual melody. And I don't know why. Like I think it's within the melody itself. It's not like, oh, the mixing is bad. It's more of like the way that I don't know what it is, honestly. Like maybe there's not enough like emphasis like drop between the emphasis of the notes. It's very strange. Um Overall though, it's a bit of a basic song, but I think it is like one of the more unique melodies and it's very enjoyable. This is a very enjoyable track even if it's probably the least experimental of all of these 5 songs except for maybe the conclusion and overall most bad track Telly. Telly is terrible, and there's a lot of reasons I could say as to why. First of all, it's kind of just a subpar like melody and conclusion. It's very short. It has random horns in it, which I will say I forgot. Lightboard does have a random string part that is a little dumb, but it's very short and it like the melody is so good I don't really care. It's like a little more experimental in it, but it's very short. Telly has like horns that sound bad. It actually is by far the worst mixed thing. There's popping everywhere. I haven't heard something that sounds this bad in a long while. Going back through my music, and it completely ruins this project. Like if there was no, and you could tell by the 9 views, like I get it, yes, 3 of them are publicly viewable and 2 are not, but even then, Face Down still has 24, and I still think that's a bad song. Telly has 9. Like, that's bad. It doesn't even have double digits. Um, Again, like, I have, like, songs that weren't made public, like, fully public, that had, like, hundreds of views. You know, this is not, like, this is more because, oh no, this is just a bad song at the end of a very iffy mixtape. And yeah, I think that again, this was very much so a gimmick project to start doing a lot of visual stuff. I do think Lightboard is cool, and I think that there are some cool visual elements in here, but I'm not really ranking the visual elements. I'm ranking this music relative to my music, and I think it's not very good. Um, I do think Lightboard is a big standout. Creative differences has some fun in it, and so does Flashback, which is overall more than half of the track list is at least enjoyable. And Face Down does have a minor part of it that I like, but it overall really is kind of bad, and then Telly is just awful. So I don't think I can give it like a 2 and probably not a 3. I think there's enough here for me to like grab onto. Especially relative to, again, like there's more originality here than in a lot of my stuff. But I think that it doesn't really matter all that much. I think I'm gonna go with a 4, like a flat 4. I think there's just too much that is objectively wrong with this mixtape between how terrible, like Telly alone drags this down to not being average, even between the unoriginal slop that I kind of had before. I think that is preferable to what Telly has done to a 5-track mixtape that's a fifth of it and Face Down is in it. I think I'm feeling a light 4. It's a borderline 3, but I think that it's not really 2 tiers below average because there just is enough to like, but it is certainly a light 4 for me. And you know that moment when I might end up having No More Fortnite being rated higher. We're gonna see.